Okay, Jaden is here. He's ready for your questions. We'll start right here on the front row.
Jaden, morning. Mark Moses with Cumulus Media on the Space Coast. I got to start with a tough one. Why did you decide to come back to Florida with the coaching change? And what sold you so far about this coaching staff?
Oh, one, just being a Gator is everything to me. And being able to just, play for the fans that support us when we're down, up, regardless. Like, they came around and embraced me with open arms just to keep going. And I feel like that's the, greatest thing to me, so that's why I stayed. And with the coaching staff, they came in with the fire in their eyes. And I tell everybody that when a coaching staff come in with a fire in their eye and they ready to just go, I'm ready to play right then and there.
No, on this microphone here. Oh. There you go.
Hey, Jaden, Sean with High Top here. Excited to have you back, man. Thanks for returning back to the Florida Gators. I want to kind of get your perspective of how they've talked to you about how you're going to fit into this offense, obviously coming off a fantastic 1,000-yard rushing you last season. How do they plan to duplicate that for you heading into this season next year?
Well, Coach Buster, he came in, he was recruiting me out of high school when he was at Georgia Tech, and we had a real good relationship. He was talking to me day in, day out, and he was just telling me how he could use me in the offense, at quarterback, running back, anywhere on the field. And I feel like that's definitely going to get displayed this year.
Go on the third row on the aisle here.
Jaden, Jamie Say from CBS in Orlando. I'm wondering what messages from Coach Summerall have really stuck out to you and to the team, and that fire, has that permeated to the rest of the team?
Oh, yeah, well, definitely. The fire has definitely, spread it throughout the team. And the main messages that I got from just the staff in general, even Coach Summerall, is when things going bad, good. We all say good. If we're facing adversity, we all say good, just because that's what builds character. When you're in adversity times, that's what helps us. So I know each and every day we come out there, coaches them try to put us, behind the wall and, behind the line, but we also just look at it and be like, let's go.
Third row on the end.
Abby Miller with Reflector from Mississippi State. With DJ Lagway leaving, how is the running back group adjusting to the two redshirt quarterbacks?
Again, those two quarterbacks are great quarterbacks. They're going to be able to, display their talents this year. But as in the running back room, we stick to the same plan every day. Go out there, work hard, and just, put our best efforts on the field. Because each and every day, you're fighting for a job. And all of us know that it's competitive, but also we're brothers as well. So,
front row.
Jaden, David Waters with Gators Breakdown. There's been a lot of saying that the talent hasn't matched the results. Why is it going to be different now under Coach Summerall?
Well, we always had the pieces, and it was just more of like inside stuff with the team as into buying into the process, understanding the process a lot more, and just to keep going. And I feel like this year we have a lot of guys who want to, and a lot of guys who's willing to, sacrifice anything for the team. And it's been times where, Coach Jim had to tell us to stop and, chill out just because we're putting so much on our body. So I feel like it's going to be very exciting this year.
Second row on the aisle.
Jaden Hunter, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. You guys are playing Georgia this year in Atlanta. I mean, just obviously you're an Atlanta native. What have you thought about kind of the emotions of that game as far as the hometown reception, and then obviously being one of your bigger rivals? How much would it mean for this program and for you guys to get over the hump of beating?
Well, a rivalry game in general is just exciting because it's so much around it. And we played this game in Jacksonville a couple times, and it was always exciting because you see the red, then you see the blue, and it gets loud at one time, and then it got loud another time. But being able to go back home and play in front of my family and all my friends, that's is very exciting for me. And I'm not too much focused on that. I'm more focused on the game though.
Second row on the end.
Leo Haggerty, Amped Up Sports Draft Nation here in Tampa. Obviously, the top of your list are team goals. What individual goals are you aspiring to meet to make those team goals successful?
Becoming the best leader I can, because we have a lot of guys who are transfers. You got a lot of good young guys that came in. You got a lot of guys who stayed. But being able to be the best leader I can, to just teach them to just keep going and face adversity. I I think that's the main goal for me right now, to just help us be successful.
Fourth row on the aisle, please.
How you doing, Jaden? Rock Riley, WDA in Tampa. I know it's a lot on the offense. You're on the offense, but going up against the defense in spring ball, what are you seeing from this Gators defense this year?
Fast, electric, you know. You got a lot of guys who's ready to just put the pass on now, even. So I feel like that group in general, they're going to be very, very tough to just be able to score on, because coach them, they come around every day. You hear them yelling, and that excites me a lot more too, because I know my defense is ready to just go out there and kill anybody who's in front of them.
On the end, third row.
Over your past few years at Florida, what has been your favorite stadium that you guys have traveled to, and which one are you looking forward to most this season?
I could say, again, there's nothing like the Swamp in general. So I don't too much see another stadium that I'm just ready to just play in other than the Swamp.
Third row on the left.
Hey, Jaden, Jeff Dubrov with WFLA here in Tampa. I was curious, with the coaching change this past offseason, a lot of uncertainty, but what was the process of Coach Summerall and his staff of making sure to get you back on campus and get you back with this roster? Do you remember anything that stuck out that made it feel special in any sort of way?
People don't know it, but he came to my grandmother's house on Christmas Day, and we sat there and just talked about everything, and that stuck out to me the most, because that showed a guy who cares. That showed a guy with character that when anything is going on, he does not care to a point where we're just trying to, get me back on the team,
We're going to go on the end, on the aisle in the back.
Tim Barton, 95.7 WDAE here in Tampa. Jaden, what to you has been the biggest difference you've seen so far in spring ball with this new coaching staff compared to the previous coaching staff?
Well, I could say for a fact that the coaching staff now, we have a lot more guys into certain areas. As we have OC, we have a defensive coordinator. You have the guys who stand around and help. They all coach us like it's the last day, and with that, I feel like that makes us better each and every day, and they push us 24/7. Like Coach Buster, he always tell me high and tight, high and tight. He's screaming. You're gonna hear him as soon as you walk in the building and as soon as you walk out.
Two final questions here, and then pass it forward.
Yeah, hey Jaden. Evan Kamiko, News 9, Oklahoma City. You spent last year with Hayden Hansen, a tight end who just transferred to Norman. What are the Sooners getting from him?
Hayden's a great player, honestly. He can do a lot. I remember this one time where I think we was playing like Tennessee or something, and he lost on a rep or whatever. He told me and the rest of the running backs that's never going to happen again. So he's going to be a fighter regardless.
Final question, second row.
Another September Saturday up in Gainesville. You're standing in the tunnel at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium again. You look out, you see all those Gators, they're chomping. Do you still get goosebumps?
Every time. Before I even touch campus, I could get goosebumps. Just because it's different. I don't think you will ever get that feeling nowhere else, because I done seen it as a recruit, as a fan. I've also seen it as a player now. So being able to get goosebumps in a place like the Swamp, I feel like that's an honor.
Jaden, thank you very much. Good job.